I think Scarface is trash. I think that movie sucks. Why is everyone okay with him and his sister having this weird relationship? They just gloss right over it. It was disgusting.
No woman in today's society finds machismo endearing in any way.
I love Scarface. It's a classic to me. But let me go with the one that I will stand by the most, and that's the Avengers. This movie is hot garbage.
That's
What?
wild. That's a crazy hot take. I don't know if I can agree with this. I don't see your point. I mean, man, that's a rough take.
Watching it for the first time, it was mind blowing. So I gotta disagree with you there.
Welcome to the Cinema Subway. From blockbusters to train wrecks, we've got reviews, hot takes, and enough derailments to make the MTA look smooth. I'm your host, Los, along with our other two hosts, Kash and Gab. How are you guys?
Hey y'all, it's
Excited
your
to be
boy
here.
Akash.
Anything new since the last time we spoke?
Uh, yeah, new. Actually, no, no. It's been quite a slow week from my end. What about you guys? Nothing too exciting for me.
Nope, still need to see Gladiator and Wicked, but those are on the list.
Yeah, just busy trying to catch up on all the movies and TV show recommendations I got over the last couple of months. I did watch Transformers One,
What'd you think?
which was fantastic. I loved it.
Right?
Yeah, that was it was amazing. It was really well done.
I think the trailers did that movie no justice. It came off as like kind of this cheesy kids flick, and for the first half of it, it does kind of feel like that in ways, and then the second half is just completely something different.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed like knowing the origins of the Transformers. Gabby, I don't know if you're a Transformer fan.
I think I stopped after like I don't know the third one. There was too many. Then I
Yeah,
think whatever last one I saw was just hot garbage. So I
uh,
kind of didn't give it a
yeah.
chance.
So this was an
Hot garbage.
animation. Yeah, that's a crazy
That's
thing to say.
another hot take. Another hot take.
Yeah.
Which one was good? The first one was good. The ones with Shia LaBeouf were good. And then what? And then
So
what
it
happened? There was
was
like four
the first
others that I don't remember.
the first three was with Shia LaBeouf, and then you had the ones with Marky Mark, and then the soft
Mm,
reboots, which were Bumblebee and uh, got the last one that came out. I think it was Rise of the Beast.
yeah, there's a lot. There's too many. That's too-
Mhm.
I think the third one was trash. I think that's why I stopped watching.
It's actually my favorite one.
Oh, hot take.
Yeah, but
Another hot
if
take.
if you do get a chance, Gabby, watch Transformers One. It's really well done. Good story.
So is that one's different than Beast Wars?
Yeah, it's the origin, which I didn't know about, and it really made me appreciate Transformers more after watching it.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah,
it a chance.
yeah, give it a chance. So on today's episode, we will be covering hot takes. I'm very curious to see what my host hot takes are. Is it gonna be spicy? Is it gonna be dull? I've been looking forward to this topic all week. I hope you, the audience, will also enjoy it. I want Gabby, ladies first,
Oh no.
to please bless us with your hot takes.
All right, this is a hot take I said before, and I stand by it. But now that I have to say it out loud, I'm a little scared. I'm a little nervous. Um, and also I have to go back to work soon. So it's my job is predominantly men who apparently love this movie. I think Scarface is trash. I think that movie sucks. Um, I'm not a huge fan of Al Pacino, so let's start there. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help my case. Um, his accent, I don't know who was his dialect coach. I am Spanish. I don't want to say I'm offended, but his accent is It's so bad. I can't even watch it. It took me a really long time to watch the whole movie because his accent was so bad. I could not watch it. Um, his character, Tony Montana, yes, he's revered by many. I think he's an asshole. I don't think there's any redeeming qualities about him. Um, I think the whole draw is that he is a gangster. He's going to do whatever he wants to get to the top. I understand that. But he did it in such an asshole way. He was fighting everyone that gave him advice. His cousin, who I think should have been the actual Scarface, was trying to help him. All he was doing was trying to help him. And then well, we know the story. He shoots him eventually, but it was just it's an entertaining movie. So yeah, my likes, I'll get into my likes, but my dislikes were Tony Montana is not a likable character. Um, he is an asshole. He does terrible things. I know he's in a terrible world, so he has to do these messed up things, but it's just he's not likable to me. Um, and then what's the weird stuff with his sister? What is that? No one talks about that. What is that incesty weird? He's a protective brother, but it at the end, like I was gonna let it all slide until the end when she like goes crazy because he killed um Manny, I think, whatever his name was.
Manny.
What is that? What was that?
Manny.
No one talks about that. Why is everyone okay with him and his sister having this weird relationship? They just gloss right over it. It was disgusting. Um, so that was also gross. I think that was I think that's the main part. I think the main part for me is that I don't think he's a likable character. I'm not rooting for him. You see his downfall, so like that's the other point of the movie is that he is an asshole, so he does get what he deserves. So I understand that. It was just I don't need to see it again. What would bring me back to Scarface was the soundtrack. I think any time in Miami I would watch. I think anything like any period of Miami is colorful, it's bright, it's something that I am drawn to. So I would watch. I think any period in Miami I would watch. And Michelle Pfeiffer. Michelle Pfeiffer in that movie is gorgeous. There is nothing wrong. Everything she does, even when she's like becomes polluted, um, she is beautiful. So she was a main part of where I kept watching and what was going to happen to her. Um, I did not like that he like just knew that he was going to treat her like garbage anyway. He saw her as like property just because she was with what's his name, Frank. Like didn't mean that if he took over, like she just belonged to him. I didn't. That was another thing I didn't like. But the soundtrack, the '80s nostalgic, the nostalgia those vibes were cool. And Michelle Pfeiffer. That's what I would watch it again for. And also the Colombian Terminator at the end. I died laughing. It was just silent coming from the balcony like a Terminator. Um, that's what would bring me back. But Tony Montana as a character is is not. I don't think he's a. I wouldn't say strong character. I think. I guess he's a good there's character development where he like always stayed an asshole. I guess that's a good case study of like someone who started an asshole and ended as an asshole. Um, but as a whole, I don't need to see that movie again. I saw it once. It took me a really long time to see it because of his accent, and I don't need to see it again. It's every man, every college dorm has a Scarface poster, and I don't get it. I don't get the hype. Not for me. So that is my hot take. Scarface is overrated.
Do you think that sentiment might be shared with other women who might have watched Scarface?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think there is something that there's parts of it that are relatable, but I think as a woman watching Tony Montana, I'd be like, who is this 5'6" asshole? He's Napoleon complex. What's wrong with him?
Yeah. I think I spoke to my
I
wife
can
about.
feel all the hate right now. I can feel all the hatred right now. I
No,
feel like how wrong I am.
No, no.
yeah, no, I'm totally putting on your shoes in this. I remember you saying something about this couple weeks ago, and we left it at that. We were like, we're gonna explore this topic in a later episode, which here we are. And I brought this up to my wife, and she feels very similar to how you feel. Her take was that he is this machismo Latino guy, which is a throwback to how the culture is, right? And it
Yes.
and it rubs women the wrong way. No women in today's society finds machismo endearing in any way.
Nope.
But as you know, my 2 cents, it's one of those films I grew up watching, and it was a big part of hip hop culture. It was always referenced. So you kind of grow an affinity for that movie. You know, I think Brian De Palma really did a spectacular job uh, storytelling, and his visual style lended a lot to why this movie is still to this day considered a classic in cinema. Akash,
Yep.
what are your 2 cents?
I mean, I totally see where Gabby's coming from, um, with the characterization of this guy, and I think that's also why I appreciate this movie because this movie was never made to glamorize this guy. I think, as a matter of fact, it was to show an ugly character through and through. He was never meant to be a good character. He did things that are very ugly things in a human being. He mistreated his wife the entire time. He mistreated his closest ally, which was Benny. He mistreated his sister. You know, he had, like Gabby had also said, he has this Napoleon complex, which is shown throughout the movie. So it was a very ugly character study, and in that regards, I do highly appreciate the movie. Now, for me personally, Scarface is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. I have the steelbook copy somewhere in the back, and I watch this movie every year. But yeah, Tony Montana, he is not a good character. He's not a good guy. But I think that's where this movie is strong in this character study. And Carlos, like you said, Brian De Palma, he does such a fantastic job with this film. I do have one complaint, and I do think the movie is a bit long and is a bit excessive in its runtime. Maybe could have been cut down a little, maybe 20-30 minutes would have been fine. But other than that, I mean, I love Scarface. It's a classic to me. But yeah, I can totally see where Gabby's coming from.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it does its job of showing the glamour but the ugly side of that world, and I think
Yeah,
it drives the point home perfectly. And that the fact that Gabby doesn't like it, I think it was successful in this movie because she did not like Tony Montana. You know, he's not
yeah.
supposed to be a likable character. You know, but uh, yeah, that's a crazy hot take. I think a lot of let me let me ask the audience, when you get a chance, comment below what do you think of Gabby's hot take on this. We would love to hear you. Both good and bad. Don't hold back. Let her hear it, and we definitely will read these comments. And if they do get controversial enough, we might discuss them on the next episode.
Mm.
Akash, let me hear your hot take. This is getting good.
Ah, I, I I have so much hot takes. But let me go with the one that I will stand by the most, and that's the Avengers. This movie is hot garbage. Like toilet, toilet,
What?
like Taco Bell toilet bad. All right. I absolutely don't like this movie at all. I think when the movie first came out, yes, there was a lot of hype surrounding it because it was a culmination of these characters coming together for the first time, and you want to see that. And I was excited to see that. And what I got was just a below average, boring movie. And here's why. For me, and this is coming from somebody that was super excited about this film, right? I found dialogues to be cringy. I found the scenes between characters to be boring. I felt like there was no chemistry in any of the characters between each other. Um, and my biggest thing with this movie is that it looked like a soap opera. I don't know why, but whatever Joss Whedon did or shot this movie made it look like an NBC daytime soap opera, and I hated the look. Also, the color grading was weird, which is the common thing with Marvel films for some reason. They have this ugly color palette in their films. Um, the only saving grace to that movie was Tom Hiddleston as Loki. If Tom Hiddleston wasn't in this movie, I would have completely shattered on this movie. But I didn't like the Avengers at all. I thought it was overhyped and it did not deliver. Now, I do realize I am in the minority with this because everybody and their mother in the world seems to like this film. Now, if you guys think that's bad, I have a part 2 to my hot take to follow up with it. And that is the same year that the Avengers came out, not even a week later, I think maybe 2 weeks later, another movie came out, which I thought that movie was better than the Avengers. You guys want to take a guess what movie that was?
Go ahead.
Okay, go for it.
Battleship.
What?
Battleship. The I thought Battleship was a far better movie than whatever I got from the Avengers was. I was a lot more entertained. I left the theater feeling like, "Yo, that was so cool." I thought the movie was looked a lot better than the Avengers, and it had Rihanna saying "Mahalo, motherfucker." So yeah,
I mean, Battleship was a good movie. I'll give you that. Better than the
Was it?
Avengers?
Was it though?
That's
What?
wild. That's a crazy hot take.
Yeah,
I've seen
no.
Battleship more times than I've seen the Avengers.
Damn. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I see. I don't know if I can agree with this. Like, I don't see your point. I mean, man, that's a rough take. I need time to digest that. I think it did what it was. Its purpose was to bring together all the other films into, the culmination of all these individual movies, developing the story and character of these superheroes to come together. It felt like such a comic book come to life to me. That's what they do in the comic books. They build up these individual characters and eventually they put them in a team. And I feel that the story was interesting. I don't think it was cringy. It had good action, good effects. I think that might you might be a minority in thinking this hot take, Akash. But I respect it. I'll
Uh,
respect it. Just this one time.
Nope.
can I play something to express how I feel about this?
Oh yes, I would love to hear it. Yeah. What was that? Is that somebody crying?
Somebody
Yeah,
taking
I
a
can't
big
hear
dump.
that.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
Yeah, I
but
gotta say
yeah,
I disagree. I disagree with this one just because it was years of separate movies of each individual comic book person. Like it was Captain America, it was Iron Man. Like how many movies had to happen before the Avengers could happen? Like it's a culmination of all those movies so that they could finally be the Avengers and set off this giant franchise that we know and love today. Hopefully we love it. Maybe they are messing things up now, but back in the day, those movies were kind of untouchable. And to have all of them together in one movie was something that they hadn't done before. So I think Avengers is it may not be the best, but it's because it was the Avengers, Infinity War, everything they have now, like Avengers, it walked so they could run. That was the Avengers movie. So they had to have everyone put together so that they could have Infinity War, they could have Endgame. Um, I think Avengers was entertaining. I thought that again, I agree with Carlos. Were really good action scenes. I agree with you that Loki was a very good first villain where obviously they had to keep topping it. Um, but for the main Avengers to come together to fight Loki, I think it was a good story. I think also it being in New York, like, is that a New York-based movie? They destroyed New York, but it was maybe that's why I like it. Um, I think it was done well. I didn't think it was boring. I think it was actually at the time, it was very exciting to have all of them on screen at the same time, and then, like, how they met was also exciting. They're like, "Oh, they're finally fighting, this Thor and Iron Man fighting." All of it was exciting to see for the first time, so I can't say that that movie isn't good. I can say it's a little boring now because of what they've done and how it had to be topped, but watching it for the first time, it was a little bit it was mind-blowing. So I gotta disagree with you there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You know, she said, you know what is a good New York-based movie though? Spider-Man 3.
Ah, boy.
No, oh gosh, don't do this.
Yeah, again, hot takes seems to be one of those topics that we have endless amount of information and opinions and
Mm.
thoughts on our hot takes, and we can save those for future episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't say
But
Spider-Man 3
Carlos,
is good.
what's
The
your real?
actors in that movie didn't even wanna be in it.
Yeah,
You could tell they didn't wanna be in that movie.
yeah. That, like I said, but just talking on the Spider-Man universe and all the movies that have come out with Spider-Man, we can definitely save that for another episode.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
to it.
yeah,
Carlos,
for
what's
sure.
your hot take?
Uh, I'll tell you this. I remember telling this person this hot take a couple years ago, and she almost fought me. she she held back from punching my face. And it my hot take is the never ending story blows. It sucks, and that's coming from, I'm gonna age myself a little bit. I was a kid. This movie came out in 1984. I was 6 years old. Okay, I watched this movie dozens of times. If it wasn't rented from a video store, it was on TV. I'd watch it with wonderment and just every time. Me and my sister would love watching this movie. Fantastic. Let's fast forward about a couple years ago. I have kids, and I'm fortunate. I'm very fortunate that my kids love movies, and the one of the pleasures in life as a parent is that you can show them these movies that you grew up with, movies that you have an attachment to, movies you just love, movies that bring you joy and nostalgia. So, you know, I put on the Never Ending Story because up until then, every movie I put on for them, they loved. They were just locked in, and they couldn't get their eyes off the screen. So I'm thinking the same effect is gonna go with Never Ending Story. About 20 minutes into the movie, my kids, they're frustrated. They're like, "Dad, we hate this. I don't want to see this no more. This is stupid." And to hear to hear that crush me, it's like, "Oh, the hell is wrong with you? How you not you, what? This movie is amazing. It's the never ending story." 10 more minutes later on, they start crying. They're just like, "Daddy, we hate this. We hate this. Don't make us watch this no more." Even my wife was like, "This is a very weird movie, and I don't get it." And I'm with the kids, so I paused the movie and I said, "Okay, kids, that's fine. You guys can go to your room, play with your toys." My wife wasn't even interested in watching it no more, so I was left alone in the living room. And I was like, "You know what? Let me finish this movie because it is a childhood favorite of mine." And I'm sitting there and realizing what a dog shit movie this was, and that my kids and wife weren't wrong. I finished that movie, and it made me realize how, as kids, we see the world through wonder and amazement. So this movie must have seemed like the best thing in the world to me at 6 years old. Me in my 40s, not so much. It just was a stinker of a movie. The only I won't trash it too hard because the special effects uh, were definitely ahead of their time for practical effects. I give it that, but the story just wasn't. it just didn't work for me. I guess I'm using my kids as the test, and they didn't like it. I don't know if today's kids like these type of children movies, but I was mulling this over in my head for like a week. I'm like I hope I don't get too many offended Gen Xers out there, you know. But again, I would like to hear you guys in the comments. Let me know if I'm wrong. Maybe is it a timeless classic, or it's just a baloney movie? So I did write a little kind of like a summary that kind of summarizes my take on the never ending story. So it was supposed to be a whimsical journey, but let's be real. It's a glorified therapy session for kids with abandonment issues, complete with a giant sad dog dragon. And don't get me started with Atreus' horse Artax sinking. That is that that has caused so much trauma in kids. That that alone it ruined an entire generation's emotional stability. That scene alone. And seriously, by the time the movie ends, you're left wondering if the story never ends because it just keeps traumatizing you. And that's all. I'm sitting there thinking, like, I already traumatized my kids with 30 minutes into the movie. I'm doing them a disservice. And I came to the conclusion that that movie sucks. And I think a lot of people will disagree with me, but again, if please comment under this post and let me know what your thoughts are on this. I mean, did you guys watch that movie? I mean, it's probably not even part of your generation. You might have seen it, but I don't know if it's one of those
I
movies that you guys really have an affinity for.
I mean, I've seen it once, like, many years ago. I remember I did like it too, and, um, I I believe that was directed by Wolfgang Peterson, who I think is a great director, and, I'd have to give it another watch, but I do remember I saw it, like, many, many years ago, and I did thought end up thinking that was a really good movie. So, yeah, I'll have to definitely give that one another watch.
Yeah, I saw it a couple times, but I was younger. So what I really remember is, yes, of course, Artax dying and trauma ensuing. You just like crying about a horse. If you were a horse girl growing up, that was like the most tragic thing you could ever watch. Um, and then yeah, I think all I remember is the horse, and then yeah, whatever that what was the dragon called?
Oh man, well, it was. Oh man,
Whatever
that's.
his name was. It was cool, but, like, as a six-year-old, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, I want like, that's awesome. He's riding a giant dragon dog," whatever that thing is. So I don't remember it being
Oh yeah, Falcor.
Falcor, yeah. So I don't remember it. I just remember it for the cool parts, so I would have to watch it again, but I do specifically remember watching Artax dying, and I'm like, "Why is he not doing everything to save his horse?" And yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely a therapy session about abandonment issues, and now it's like it's gonna change the whole movie if I watch it now.
Yeah,
But
and like I say,
it was a lot of weird, like, mythical things where I was just like, "What is happening now?" But as a six-year-old, like, as a young kid, you're not gonna question it. You're like, "Oh, "Okay, yeah, sure, this is what we're doing. I hope the
yeah,
story never ends."
yeah,
But it's a little
I
crazy.
like I like weird stuff, and that was a little too weird for me. Certain
Yeah,
scenes it just was like, oh, this is no.
But there also plays the nostalgia part of it. Like, your kids don't yeah, they're not gonna have that nostalgia, they're not gonna have that, like, "Oh, when I was young, I remember when I what I was doing when I watched this movie, and everything was easier."
Right.
So, like, your kids are gonna
yeah.
be like, "What the hell is going on? What is this?"
Yeah.
So, if it's not a good story, it's not gonna hold their attention.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I've introduced them to things like Gremlins. They love
Mhm,
Flight of the Navigator, which they loved. I'm not sure if you guys seen that one.
mhm,
Uh,
I
but
have not.
yeah, that one. Like I said, my wife loved those movies.
Yep,
Sometimes good storytelling uh, definitely is timeless,
right.
yep.
and I don't think Neverending Story was that type of movie. I think it worked for its time, and I'll leave it in the '80s where it belongs. You know.
Yeah, that's another
Oh,
good topic. Movies that stand the test of time.
oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
there's so many that
I'd like
don't.
to.
There's so many that do
Oh
not
yeah,
cannot
tons.
stand the test of time.
Yeah, we'll definitely, save that topic for another episode. Yeah, definitely. But I do kind of want to take a minute to thank our our small but growing audience. It's definitely empowering us to keep doing this. We love our new subscribers. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Cinema Subway, where we do other things outside of the podcast videos. We do some reels, we do some memes, movie reviews. We stay busy on that in between weeks where we're filming new content for you guys. We appreciate all the positive, all the negative, anything you guys can say to make us a better product for you. We'd love to hear it. If there's something you guys want us to talk about, reach out to us again in the comments. Put down, hey, this would be a great topic for next time. We'd love to hear it. If it's something that catches our interest and it's a hot topic, we'll talk about it.
Yep.
We'll put it. We'll bring it to the next episode. Again, don't forget to subscribe. For hope you're sharing so that we get some new subscribers. You know, uh, this is definitely driving our creative juices.
Yep.
We're having so much fun doing this. Um, so please, like I said, keep continuing our supporting this endeavor of ours, so that we can continue keep giving you guys some hopefully some funny stuff, informative stuff that you guys are enjoying watching and listening. So I'm definitely getting feedback. It feels good. I spoke to Akash about this the other night. It feels good when people come up to us and they love what we're doing, and it's
Yep.
like, oh, that's awesome, because I know I for one, it's hard to watch myself on these videos
Mm.
and listening to my voice, and I'm wondering if our energy is coming through wherever you're watching it, on mobile, on your desktop, or you're putting it on the TV. I hope that energy that we're putting forth is coming through and it's touching you guys. Any thoughts on
Yeah.
our for our audience?
Yeah. I I just want to say thank you guys. You've all been awesome since the inception of this podcast. Even though we do have a small but growing um, fan base right now, I want to say. But you guys have been showing nothing but love and support, and your feedbacks have mean the absolute world to us. And we do appreciate everything that you guys tell us, and we do take that in and listen and build upon it. So we do hope that you can keep sending us your feedback, keep showing us your love, and keep subscribing and telling more people so we can keep growing. Because we do have fun doing this. This is movies, TVs. This is something we love to talk about. This is something we love to do. And the other night, somebody was watching our video and I heard them laughing because they found something that we said funny. And to me, that was so endearing to me because that just means that we're moving in a positive direction when it comes to this. So hope we can keep doing that and keep giving you guys great things to look forward to. So thank you guys again.
Gabby?
Yeah, I would just say more of the same. Thank you for watching. Just like and subscribe. I'd really like some comments. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys want us to talk about, like movies, shows, um, anything current that's going on that you'd want to talk about. So like and subscribe, but also comment. Let us know.
And one last thing on giving thanks, and this is shared by Akash and Gabby and myself. Big, big, big thank you to our man behind the scenes, Molly Mall. This was his idea to bring us together in doing this. He's the magic. Without him, we wouldn't be having this outlet to talk to you guys. He
Yep.
puts it together. Fantastic video producer, editor. Like I said, I want to thank him on this video. Like I said, he's the magic, and without him, we'd be three people lost, three lost mice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So shout out
100%.
to Molly Mall.
The best showrunner.
Yeah, definitely. So final sayings, Thanksgiving is coming up. What are you guys doing? Akash?
I'm gonna be at work. You
Okay.
know, yeah, well, I do have half a day to spend with the family, but I'll be at work towards the later half of the night. Um, so on that note, I do wish you guys all a happy and safe Thanksgiving.
Gabby?
My immediate family is like 30 people, so I am
Oh.
cooking. Yep, I'm cooking everything. So me and my mom cook everything. It already started. So after this, it is just cleaning everything and preparing everything I can so that Thursday is smooth sailing. But yeah,
Nice.
happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Me, food coma, and most likely talking about movies and TV shows with family members and getting them to subscribe to this channel. So this will definitely be a topic I want to bring up at the dinner table. Just a new venture that we're getting into, and hopefully they can support us moving forward. And I also want to thank the audience again, and have a happy Thanksgiving. Uh, Again, please follow us on Instagram where we can keep up to date to our doings, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
guys.
Yeah, thank you.